अपनी फेवरेट फिल्मों के बारे में जानने के लिए सब्सक्राइब कीजिए फिल्म कंपेनियन लोकल पर। बेल आइकॉन दबाएं ताकि आप एक भी अपडेट मिस न करें।
एक जमाना हुआ करता था जब हिंदी फिल्म हीरोइन चाहती थी कि वो यश की हीरोइन बने, लेकिन आज 2020 में आई वुड से दैट्स द सेम विद यू अलंकृता। हर हिंदी फिल्म में हीरोइन जो है वो एक अलंकृता श्रीवास्तव हीरोइन बनना चाहती है। तो मुबारक हो एंड वेलकम टू बोल बेबी बोल।
Thank you so much. And that's a really wonderful compliment. I love working with female actors, and yeah, it's just a joy. It's such a pleasure. And I love to see, to see what they can do with the characters that I've created. So, yeah, it's very exciting.
Congratulations, Dolly किट्टी और वो चमकते सितारे के लिए। How is the reception been? इसके साथ शुरुआत करते हैं। ट्विटर पर हो पूरे दिन, are you seeing a lot of good feedback? क्या रहा है मतलब पिछले 48 घंटे? टेल मी।
बहुत ही एक्साइटिंग रहा है। थोड़ा सा जिटरी तो वन फील्स जब कोई फिल्म आती है आपकी, तो बट बहुत ही एक्साइटिंग रहा है। ऑल्सो आई थिंक जब फिल्म स्ट्रीमिंग प्लेटफॉर्म पे आती तो इट्स अ डिफरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ प्रोसेस, बट बहुत सारा प्यार, बहुत सारा अप्रिसिएशन। इट्स जस्ट बिन लवली, जस्ट बिन गेटिंग लॉट ऑफ कॉल्स, लॉट ऑफ मैसेजेस. Last 2 days I have not been able to function only because I'm just so like busy trying to take in all the thoughts also. A lot of people have been messaging and calling with what they feel about a lot of things that the film sort of brings up. तो बहुत बहुत ब्यूटीफुल चीजें हैं। किसी ने कुछ नोटिस किया, किसी को लगा मुझे ये ज्यादा चाहिए था, तो it's just been very beautiful. और जब फिल्म बन जाती तो उसके बाद this is what you really want to do, engage with people who've seen the film and see what they kind of have reacted to. तो बहुत ही स्पेशल रहे ये 2-3 दिन।
बहुत ही बढ़िया। I want you back to that time जहाँ पर शायद I think in an interview you said कि the germ of the film तब आया जब आप अपनी मम्मी के साथ ग्रेटर नोएडा जाया करती थी, क्योंकि वहां पर उनकी एक प्रॉपर्टी थी। And just to watch this sort of city in motion, being built, और ये जो औरतें हैं वो भी works in progress ही हैं। Can you take me back to that phase, अलंकृता, और मुझे थोड़ा सा और उस फेज के बारे में बताओ। How young were you, how old were you, और वो रिश्ता क्या था उस टाइम का?
तो एक तो ये बात है कि मेरी जो फैमिली है दे आर सेटल्ड इन नोएडा ओनली। सो तो मेरा रिश्ता उस एरिया के साथ मतलब बहुत बहुत सालों से है। और ये ग्रेटर नोएडा पता नहीं, मुझे याद नहीं है, पर एटलीस्ट 6-7 साल हो गए जिस जब से वी बिन गोइंग, बिकॉज माय मदर हैज दैट इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड ऑल दैट। तो मुझे तो बहुत ही फैसिनेटिंग लगता है, क्योंकि ये एक्चुअली ये जो आइडिया है कि ये बार बार और डेवलप होगा, तो एवरी टाइम वी गो माय मदर ऑलवेज हैज द सेम थिंग टू से, अभी दिस एयरपोर्ट इज गोना कम अप, दिस इज गोना हैपन, यू वोंट बिलीव इट, लाइक व्हाट ऑल इज हैपनिंग ओवर हियर. So I found her excitement also so charming, that she's so excited that this is some new kind of place where things are coming up. और I started noticing मुझे जैसे कितने सारे ऐसे जगह जहाँ पे सिर्फ गर्ल्स रह रही हैं हॉस्टल के तौर पे, और वो दे ऑल वर्किंग गर्ल्स, बट एवरीथिंग फेल्ट लाइक देयर समथिंग नॉट complete, and something not fully kind of developed. Also, there's a lot of like, it's not a very safe space. And then there are these like, these Gujar boys in these boleros roaming around all the time. So I think, but the space is very exciting. बहुत सारे call center type के, वो नोएडा और ग्रेटर नोएडा के बीच में जो हाईवे, वहाँ पे बहुत सारे call centers भी हैं. So it's just very, very interesting. It's very close to Delhi, but it's not Delhi. It's very close to Agra now because of that new road. So I just found that place just gave me a lot of thoughts कि यहाँ पे क्या होता होगा, जो लोग जिनके जो लोग सपने और अरमान लेके आए यहाँ पे, और उनकी जिंदगी कैसी होती होगी. So I think that's what I kind of wanted to explore, these women in the city.
Fantastic. I rewatched Lipstick because ये फिल्म वैसे भी मुझे इतनी पसंद है, पर मैंने डॉली देखी और फिर मैंने जाके फिर से लिपस्टिक देखा, just to kind of like and I realized that the universe is so much the same. और मुझे ये बहुत अच्छा लगता है to tell you about this because it's so important to have a certain universe, right? और कहीं कहीं ना कहीं ये औरतें जो हैं, it could be like one grand universe reunion of all of these women, जहाँ पर some women are playing themselves and something else in another extension. But what I noticed was ये सारी की सारी औरतें जो हैं उनका पैसों के साथ रिश्ता कितना कितना important होता है. And I thought that Konkana in Dolly Kitty as well as Konkana in Lipstick, is trying to make a living as much as Bhumi. तो मुझे लगा कि this is a great opportunity to ask you, आपके हिसाब से पैसों का women's equality, liberation, ये सारे movements में जिसे हम कहते हैं, क्या मतलब किरदार होता है? How important is money?
I think money is very, very important because जब आपके पास थोड़ी फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस आती है तो देयर इज अ सेंस ऑफ सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट एंड अ लिटिल एजेंसी दैट यू कैन हैव कि मुझे
Yeah,
किसी से बेग नहीं करना पड़ेगा कि मुझे ये दे, मुझे ये खरीदना है, मुझे ये दे दो. अपने पैर पे खड़ा होना आई थिंक इज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट of feeling equal in this society. And I think वो आपके छोटे छोटे लाइफ एक्सपीरियंसेस से पे भी काफी मतलब उसका इफेक्ट आता है. एंड आई डू फील दैट you know it's one thing if you're already very privileged and you already have a lot of money, but what I find very interesting is that there are a lot of decisions, बहुत सारी ऐसे choices हम लेते हैं क्योंकि कुछ कंपल्शंस होती हैं. एंड your choices may be very different if you don't have those compulsions, and I like exploring that whole idea that you want to be free but you have a lot of other uh, practical concerns as well. And I still
yeah,
think that it's not that financial independence is the only thing, because there's a lot of labor that women put into raising their children and looking after their homes. Uska to koi matlab maine nahi hota, and they don't get sort of paid for it. So I feel like there are a lot of such issues, but I do feel that it is important for women to strive to have their own source of income. Not to say that if you have your own source of income, you are not going to go through the difficulties of living in a patriarchal society. You will, but at least one thing you
आप
have.
फिर भी खाना बनाएंगी, आप फिर भी चाय तो बनाएंगी.
हाँ, exactly.
Correct, 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 correct. No, it's great. It's great. I also loved the set design, and I'm saying this very, very. मुझे इतना मजा आया कोंकणा का जो घर है जिसे वो छोड़ के दूसरा घर बनाना चाहती है, लेकिन वो जो घर है जिसमें इतने सारे dolls हैं, she's Dolly, it's pink, it's got all these crazy things, it's almost like a museum. ये घर का reference कहाँ का है? I really want to know.
First of all, for the production design of the film, I'd like to really give credit to my production designer, Tia Tejpal, and her
Yeah,
very able, wonderful team that really, worked hard at, realizing this kind of vision. So, Dolly, actually, वो बहुत सारे metaphors है Dolly का, क्योंकि वो Dolly, उसका नाम Dolly है. Um, एक प्ले है a doll's house, so there's a
yeah,
lot of like thing on her character being like, there's a bit of like a sense of reference to that character. पर ये है कि
yeah.
उस जो उसके अंदर खुशी नहीं है, like whatever she's the dissatisfaction of her inner life which she doesn't talk about, but she's always trying to prettify her life externally,
बिल्कुल,
to kind of
बिल्कुल.
make up for things. तो that's why
Yeah,
I thought कि वो मेटाफोरिक है, that वो बिल्कुल डॉल्स हाउस की तरह उसका घर होना चाहिए. So we worked hard at like, looking at different references and what we wanted and all of that. And I think what is really amazing is that Tia really understood the film, ki what should, like what will create meaning. So I think we were able to really arrive at a lot of things, even the use of those red partitions at the Red Rose office,
yeah.
and many many small things like what Twinkle House, where Kitty's character goes and lives. So I think like there was a lot of detailing on Tia's part and her team's part, and I think that's really helped add so many layers
Human.
to Dolly and Kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you feel, because बहुत सारे लोगों ने कहा है that oh my God, there's so much that we need to talk about, because इतनी सारी चीजें हैं इस फिल्म में that each of it could be its own parallel, either episode or film. Did you feel that there was too much to say and too little time? कि नहीं, ये मतलब एक mishmash है of all of these stories. This is exactly how women's lives are. There's 100 things going on at the same time.
I have never thought of the story of Dolly Kitty without these elements of the city, because I don't feel that their story can exist in a vacuum. And
Yeah,
वो जो इनकी कहानी है वो एक बहुत रूटेड एक जगह में है, और उस जगह में क्या चल रहा है, आई थिंक फॉर मी दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड आई फील लाइक ऑल द अदर थिंग्स आर एक्चुअली दे ऑल द बैकड्रॉप्स, the
yeah.
different things that are happening. But like right now, for instance, you can't invest in a house and think you'll actually get that house. Most houses, they never get completed. So this is actually the truth of that place. You can't be a Muslim delivery boy and think that you will not be experiencing a sense of violence. So I feel that this is actually the setting, and there is no, I mean, one can say, so many things and all of that, but that's how it is. Like, it is not in a vacuum, and it can't be in a vacuum. So जब से मुझे ये कहानी का आइडिया आया and characters का आइडिया आया, they were always, this story was always populated with the world around them and what happens to them as they kind of interact with that world. It's also क्योंकि ये जो कहानी है ये इनकी internal journey की कहानी है. What happens, what is it that they have to sort of battle from inside and change from within, and only the
Yes.
stimulus is from outside. So it can't be such a linear story that this is what they want, these are the obstacles, and that they'll overcome, and that's what it is. So it is a different kind of world building and character building that is very intentional. So it's not by mistake or whatever, it's just the world that it is. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Throughout the film, चाहे जब वो एक चाय बना रही है, for her office colleagues, कितने सारे, या फिर जब उनसे कहा जाता है कि आप तो सिर्फ शौक के लिए काम करती हैं, या फिर उनसे कहा जाता है कि आपको एक रेस की जरूरत क्यों है. As a woman, working in the field, I have had each of these things said to me at different points. तो मेरे लिए तो मतलब I was like, oh, thank you, किसी ने तो ये बात कही हमारे बारे में, because we go through these microaggressions all the time. But I think that moment जहाँ पर वो artistic sculpture होता है, I don't want to reveal what that sculpture is. लेकिन जब उसे तोड़ा जाता है, मेरे हिसाब से ये एक बहुत ही, like it was like, अब तक तो ये माइक्रो था, लेकिन अब ये मैक्रो हो गया है. And just go back to that moment and tell me कि ये जो idea है, of just physically damaging a piece of art, which is feminine in nature, was that also that statement कि चलो अब तो पानी से उतर रहा है.
Actually, it was that I don't know. I don't. Maybe it was not like necessarily such like a planned, overt statement. But
Yeah.
I did want to explore the fact that the kind of world we are living in, जो society है, they are not comfortable with the inner lives of women, and
Hmm.
this whole thing of कि ये लड़कियां, ये औरतें बहुत अश्लील हैं, ये ऐसी हैं, and men never take any responsibility for what they are and how they have built these patriarchal structures within which they expect women to live. So I
Yeah.
actually got inspired by this artwork because I was in Brussels, and there's this very lovely, I think it's like a center for women's rights or something, and there was a really beautiful sculpture. It's very different, but it was of sort of similar in theme, and I just kept looking at it and I was like, how beautiful that they have put this sculpture here to just celebrate the idea that women should just own themselves and what they feel is sort of important. And I just thought it was so beautiful, and I think that kind of stayed with me when I was writing the film, and it just kind of emerged over there. And I think the thing is, it could have been any sculpture, but the point is that like I don't know, I think because I had seen that, and I felt in a way that the personal is political and the political is personal. We are living in a time where, you know, you can't be like, I don't care about what's happening in the world, because what's happening in the world is going to affect your personal life. And
बिल्कुल.
your personal life is getting is, you know, you are taking decisions based on what's happening outside. So I feel like there is a sort of very strong element of the personal is political and the political is personal. That is where we are kind of living in this time. And I just wanted to be true to that in a visual kind of way, I guess. Yeah.
No, that was a great high point. Personally, उस्मान को नहीं मारना चाहिए था, ये तो मैं personally कहूंगी. But I know कि वो जरूरी भी था. And just that last shot again, you know, with her and her son in that bus. These things will always stay with us, Alankrita. It's been so wonderful to watch this film. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया डॉली किट्टी के लिए और हमारी तरफ से सारे के सारे चमकते सितारे आप ही के नाम.
Thank you. Lovely chatting with you.
I'll speak to you at length because 15 minutes is no time to really talk film. But thank you so much for giving me your time today.
All right. Bye.
Bye.